Alright, now for real, we're going to be doing the rest of episode 3 of Ace Attorney Investigations. And we're going to take a break when the Ace Attorney video airs. We'll see. I might do that as like its own... I don't know. I don't know if I want to split it into a separate video, because I don't know how close to the end of the case I'll be after an hour and a half. Actually, it might even just be an hour. Like, I might even only just go an hour or so, because I want to take a break before the video happens. Anyway, last time, Edgeworth gets kidnapped, and then we broke him out, thanks to Kay, a thief, noble thief. And now we're trying to search for who shot some butler and kidnapped some rich dude. And this Interpol agent named Lang believes that it might have been our buddy from Ace Attorney 1 Case 5, Mike Meekins, who has the same first name and last initial as me. Okay, so first thing I immediately got to do is do this awful voice again. It's true, sir. I wasn't assigned to this area, sir. I was told to check every square inch of the main gate area, sir. I also went looking for the kidnappers while selling dreams in the Blue Badger mobile, sir. But I got completely caught up in my role selling dreams to children, sir. Before I knew it, I found myself here in this area, sir. What is this Blue Badger mobile? It's a moving store on wheels that sells sweet dreams and merchandise, sir. So the Blue Badger mobile is just a roaming souvenir shop? Mobile shop on 3 wheels was parked inside the Wild Wild West area garage. Cool. Sir, I swear I was chasing the kidnappers down while I was being a good dream merchant. I don't know why I almost said dream catcher. Dream merchant. He rather seems worked up. Rather worked up, even more than his usual hyperactive self. He sure seems sure of what he's saying. Okay, that's written on purpose to be that way, to be confusing. You try to calm down and lower your voice to a more reasonable level, officer. Sir, Roger, sir.
Hold it.
All right then, where were you assigned to?
I was assigned to the main gate, sir.
He must mean that area with the bridge and the outrageous fountain. Okay then, why are you here in the Wild Wild West area?
It's because of a very deep reason, ma'am. Hold it!
Describe for me how you conducted your investigation.
Yes, sir. Well, first I made sure there were no suspicious-looking people in the area, sir. But the only people that seemed to gather around me were little girls, sir.
What did you expect when you're dressed like a Blue Badger?
I thought I had no choice at that point, sir, so... I also went looking for the kidnappers while selling dreams in the Blue Badger mobile.
What exactly do you mean by selling dreams?
Sir, the Blue Badger mobile is where dreams are collected.
What?
Sweetness like you've never known except in dreams, ma'am. Like innocence drops. And bitterness found only in nightmares, ma'am. Like guilty jawbreakers. Selling those as I push the Blue Badger mobile along as my sworn duty, ma'am. Hold it!
You completely forgot to look for the kidnappers.
No, sir, of course not, sir. I would never do something like that, sir. You're absolutely right.
Wow, you're good at this forcing people to confess thing, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be frank, I'm just a little man, sir. He's just a little guy. I'm better at selling kids a few small dreams than looking for a big crook, sir.
He'd say he was just a little... Yeah, he's just a little guy. Taking a screenshot of that for later. I'm better at selling I'm better at selling kids. Yeah. Here, I'll take screenshots of them both. You actually can't take screenshots from the Switch like this. It'll always take a full screen screenshot. It won't use the zoom in. He's just a little guy.
Hold it!
Enough wallowing in your own self-pity. Let's return to your testimony.
Yes, sir! Before I knew it, I found myself in this area, sir. Hold it!
How'd you wind up all the way over here?
I was in the middle of a sea of kids, sir. But one of the kids decided to challenge me to a fight, sir. I had to run away from the child's painful drop kicks, and before I knew it... Haha, the good old drop kick. I dished out my fair share of those when I was a kid. It was always the best when you felt one really connect with your opponent. In any case, you wound up here for a reason completely unrelated to the investigation. Sir! That's right, sir. That's not something you should be admitting to with your head held high, officer. Sounds like he simply forgot about his real job and became the Blue Badger. However, there is one flaw in Officer Meekin's story. But I have the feeling that he's going to need some prodding before he'll spill the beans. Really? More prodding? I pressed him on everything. Hey, V2, how you doing?
Hold it!
Let me just cycle through those again.
Hold it!
Maybe they just mean the next testimony. Very good, how am I? I'm almost better. I'm no longer sick, I'm just got some spare mucus stuck in the back of my throat. And my scabs are starting to peel off finally, so I'm almost back to normal.
Hold it!
Okay, no, he's not adding anything, I just gotta present something somewhere. What am I doing? I found myself in this area. Total check every square inch of the main gate. Huh. That looked like that other face, that like emoji. Oh, I'm glad you're almost feeling back to normal. Had dinner with two of your best friends, went to Korean barbecue. Nice. Still remember when me, Nessium, our friend, went to the K-Pot a couple months ago. K-Pot and Grill. Ooh, it was so good. Mobile shop on 3 wheels was parked inside the Wild Wild West area garage. Well, wait. I'm completely caught up in my role selling dreams to the children. Lately, though, your appetite's been minuscule. So the thing is parked there. The victim is dead next to it. Twitch really doesn't want to send me verification SMSs. I really hate how everything is... everything... Logging into everything now requires your cell phone to get SMSs. Or Authy to get codes. I'm so... Oh, man. Why did we as a society have to get to the point where we needed 2 passwords for everything? Like, why did we need that? Why are we gonna need 3 passwords for everything eventually? Why do we need CAPTCHAs? How come every time I'm at work and I have to log on a ship station to order a part out for one of our machines, do I have to do 10 minutes worth of CAPTCHAs to get in? Like, why is solving a CAPTCHA too quickly count as failing it? What the fuck? You telling me I'm too smart for you? Then don't give me the damn CAPTCHAs. Okay, I have no idea what I'm supposed to present here. Too smart for CAPTCHAs, not smart enough for this game. I was told to check every square inch of the main gate area. I also went looking for kidnappers while selling dreams of the Blue Badger mobile. I hate that. Like, Facebook told me I had to verify a number to show you your messages. Yeah. Verifications, SMSs, 2-factor authentication. I can't. Man, I can't. Okay. I was assuming he wasn't actually writing it, because if he wrote it, how did he open the garage, put it in, and not see the dead body? That was like my only thing there, and it turns out that was right. Officer Meekins, I would appreciate if you didn't tell such transparent lies. Sir, I'm lying, sir? Yes, you are. If you were really out there selling dreams with the Blue Badger mobile until recently,
Then what is it doing here inside the garage? Ah! Actually, I just lost track, sir. Lost track of what? By the time I realized the blue Badger-mobile was nowhere to be found, sir. Which would mean it was perhaps stolen. And that's when I came back to this area, thinking maybe it was in the garage, sir. But that's when you found me, Mr. Edgeworth. Sir.
Not the best.
Likely story. Who do you think's going to buy such a convenient tale as that? What exactly is so convenient about his story? The car getting stolen. It's completely unbelievable, even for a cover story. But I think we can assume that the car was used alright. To move the dead body. What? You killed the victim at some distant location, Officer Meekins. And then used the blue Badger-mobile to transport it all the way here. Now then, you're coming with me. But it wasn't me, sir. The killer, sir. It wasn't me, sir. Agent Lang, wait. What do you want now? We still don't know where the real scene of the crime is. We can't say if we know all the facts of this case, let alone the truth. I told you, truth schmooth, I couldn't care less. Our job is to catch the crook. You'll find out your precious truth after we arrest this guy and take him in. That's the job of you prosecutors in your fancy courts with your logic. Period was supposed to be before the quotation mark there. As for us, we don't have that kind of time to waste. You boorish buffoon! I think you need to leave. What? We need to get the body to autopsy, and you guys are getting in the way. You would interfere with another one of my investigations? Hey now, let's not forget who holds the actual authority to conduct investigations here. Ugh. I'm afraid the one doing the interrupting is you, my ignorant little pretty boy. Read that wrong. Ugh. Now be a fancy boy and get out of my sight. If you don't, I'll arrest you for obstruction of justice. Edgeworth getting a taste of his own medicine. Why didn't I finish that last time? It was so close to the end of the to be continued. I thought there was more than one testimony for Meekins. March 13th, 1:22 p.m. Gatewaterland, Main Gate. Chased out like a pair of peasants. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Kay? There's something even thieves should never steal. Do you know what that is? You really shouldn't steal anything, however, I'll bite. What shouldn't a thief steal? A life. It's too heavy of a burden on your soul to get away with, ever. That's something we can agree on. Well said, Kay. No matter what we may try, murder is the one crime that can never truly be hidden. And I intend to prove that by my own hands. When I apprehend the murderer myself. Alright, and I'm going to work extra hard to be a good assistant. Let's go! Still never said she could be my assistant. I'm just going to drop the issue. First thing we should do is locate the real scene of the murder. Mr. Edgeworth! Detective Gumshoe. Mr. Edgeworth, the stadium! Hurry, sir! This is supposed to be hush-hush, but they found a witness at the stadium. A witness? You, what did we tell you about leaving your assigned post? The jig is up! Mr. Edgeworth, remember that I'm always rooting for you, so go get him, sir! Those detectives sure look like they're enjoying themselves. It's not all fun and games, Kay. Now then, let's head to the stadium and meet this witness. Oh, I said an hour? I meant 2 hours before. Wow. 2 a.m. is still 2 hours and 10 minutes from now. March 13th, 1:42 p.m. Stadium. Thought there was a witness here. Yeah, I don't see anyone. Mr. Edgeworth! Long time no see. You are Miss Emma Skye, correct? This girl's the younger sister of my former superior, Lana Skye. 2 years ago, we stood in the same courtroom together as witness and prosecutor. But I thought she had gone to Europe to study forensics.
Can't believe you remember me, Mr. Edgeworth. Of course I do. How have you been? You look to be in good spirits. Are you still studying abroad? You bet. More than anything, I want to investigate crime scenes scientifically. I've been studying non-stop every day to become a top-notch forensic scientist. But it's spring break now, so I thought I'd come back home for a bit. I see. Where are you going, Mr. Edgeworth? We have to find the witness before that mean old werewolf does. You're right, but the witness is supposed to be here in the stadium, but where? Yeah? You look deep in thought. Care to share, Kay? With all that's happened, I'm getting a little confused. For example, what that detective said earlier about how we must look for the witness at the stadium. No, not that. The I'm always rooting for you bit. I was thinking of how sweet that is. It's like you two are best friends. I think you're a little confused, alright, Kay. What do you think about this? Oh, if you're going to steal anything, at least keep your hands off my lines. Alright, I'll return it to you. Here you go. I was hoping for some information in return, but my line will do for now. Hey, Karma. Objection. Michael Ghastly Macaw, yeah. Michael Transparent Macaw. You stinky? No. I'm not stinky. I assume this is another Badger mobile. Yeah, but it's a different color than the Blue Badger's car. Yes, this is the Retina Searing Pink model. There's not a ton here to examine, huh? I almost didn't recognize you. You've really grown in these past few years. Please don't tease me, Mr. Edgeworth. I know I still have a long way to go. But I'm going to be a super forensic scientist someday. You'll see. You seem to know Mr. Edgeworth really well. Are you two acquaintances? Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Emma Skye. Nice to meet you. I'm studying abroad now to be a forensic scientist. How about you? Wow, that's a great dream. My name's Kay Faraday. And I'm trained to become an unstoppable great thief. A great thief? Don't think too hard on it, Emma. It's not worth the trouble. In any case, we have much to catch up on. You bet we do. This is the symbol of a prosecutor, right? And I don't think I've ever seen you wear it, though. Well, I'm not as enthusiastic about wearing it as you are with your pin badges. I know, right? I mean, I really wanted to put on even more today, actually. Oh, hey, I like yours, Kay. You have any extras? Sorry, but there's only one of these in the world, and it's proof that I'm a great thief. Now, if I calculate this out scientifically using my time scheduler... Aha! I can definitely see all the attractions before the park closes. Science sure is useful, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not even going to bother asking Emma how she calculated that. Also, I just want to point out here, look at her little planner. Look at her time scheduler. It's a DS. It's a DS Lite with her initials on it. See, I don't like how that looks though when it's open, because like when the system's closed, that means that the initials will be upside down. That's cute though. She got it custom engraved. Also, look at her glasses. So they don't. Actually, I think that might just be the reflection. I don't think her glasses are cybernetic. Yeah. It looks like they're cybernetic. They're not. I just realized that's not. That's not the thing later on that she has. That's like that. Wonder how it is in Japan. I mean, it's probably the same thing. Seeing the... Whoops. Ah. Seeing the Blue Badger sure brings back memories. Yes, indeed. Remember it like it was yesterday. That was really something, huh? The red-hot courtroom battle between the two of us. I don't think it was quite as dramatic as that. Scientifically calculating and thinking critically about this, and putting it in a way that transmits the feeling that I understand. Whew, done. She makes it sound like she knows what she's talking about, but she really has no idea. I remember when I made a child cry that day, yeah?
Admittedly, I'm slightly confused by what she just rattled off. See, maybe showing her a dead body isn't the best thing, but then I realized she wants to be a crime scene forensic specialist anyway. So, she'd have to get used to it pretty quickly. Emma Sky, age 18, high schooler studying in Europe to become a forensic scientist, on school break. Oops. Maybe I want players to take the hint of this was supposed to be played in the DS. Well, I mean, it was on the DS originally. That's why it was drawn that way. I mean, though, remember at the beginning of this year when I played another Code collection, and how the DAS that the main character was given looked like a Switch with like a cybernetic touchscreen on it. In the original version of the game, both games, it looked like a DS in the first game, and the second game it was a DSi, and they changed it in the remake to just both times it was just like a Switch, not even a Switch. It was like the two controllers on the end with like a blue screen in the middle. It was really weird looking. It almost looked more like a smartphone. I guess Nintendo kind of took the hint that they shouldn't be putting the systems in their games, because then when they re-release it, they have to redo it completely. So let's make it generic looking. So why are you here, Emma? Well, I just happened to decide to come back home for spring break. And then I heard that you'd come back too, so I raced on over here. I really wanted to welcome you back at the airport, but I just missed you. Excuse me. And how exactly did you know I was here? Through the power of science, naturally. Never underestimate what science can do for you. I use these to track your footprints, and I followed them straight to you. This set is the greatest. It's so wonderfully scientific. You spray this chemical on the ground, and when you shine the special light on it, zing, the footprints light up like an electrified noble gas in a glass tube. It's almost like magic, scientifically speaking. Forensic science has never seemed more ominous to me than at this very moment. Emma, that's stalking, yeah. Emma, I'd like to ask you about what you witnessed. Huh? What are you talking about? Are you not the witness Detective Gumshoe told us about? Well, I did get a call from Detective Gumshoe earlier. He was practically yelling at me. How old is Edgeworth in this game? Is he 25 or 26? I can't remember. I can't remember his age in relation to Phoenix. Mr. Edgeworth needs your scientific doohickeys right now, pal, he said. What was that man thinking? Or rather, not thinking? So let me guess, there's been a murder, right? Yes, unfortunately. There's a sudden glint in her eyes. But I need to keep my mind focused on the witness. Now, where did that person go? What's that off in the distance? Oh, it's the pink badger. Badger get. Badger, 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 badger. Just what does she see in these silly things? This badger has something to say to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Are you by chance the witness I've been searching for? Anyone who hasn't played this but knows Ace Attorney, who do you think is in that costume? Sorry, but I don't speak badger dance. Oh. I keep forgetting that like the game doesn't tell you when you have control over it again. Yeah, you were right. Ah, I can't take being inside that stuffy head anymore. You're... No, why her? Why here? Why now? I first met this woman 3 years ago. She was a witness in one of my cases. She has since gone out of her way to pop up unexpectedly and cause me great grief. Edgy Poo! Why couldn't you understand what I was trying to tell you? I mean, really. I was trying so hard to keep the kid's dream alive by staying in character, but you couldn't pick up what I was trying to convey to you. I'm sick and tired of that roundabout way of talking, so I'm just going to be direct. I had a bad feeling before, but this just made it official. Today has gone beyond the typical not my day in the realm of a waking nightmare. The Wicked Witch of the Witness Stand, yeah. So you're a friend of Mr. Edgeworth too, Miss Pink Badger? You could say that, but right now I'm just the Pink Badger, dearie. She may look the part, but I know better than to trust my eyes around this woman. My name is Wendy Oldbag, but you can call me Wendy or Granny or whatever suits your fancy. Nice to meet you, Miss Oldbag. I'm Kay Faraday. What do I care about a young whippersnapper like you? Yeesh, I was just trying to be polite. Go on, Edgy Poo, show me anything and I'll tell you all about it. Very well, what do you think about this? It's nothing special. Somehow I figured she'd say as much. Yet another blue badger. I've had my fill of these for a lifetime. Thank you for the extra commentary, but all I wanted was for you to take a look. Oh, alright, I guess I can do that, but only because it's you, Edgy Poo. It's his badge. What is wrong with this thing? Why is this blue badger wearing sunglasses? How could she have not noticed all that all this time? Yeah. Are you not surprised by the dead body? I guess you wouldn't be by this point. It's a lineup of ugly thugs. You cut to the quick. That's a weird phrase, Edgeworth. Only behind the scenes, I'm the Pink Badger right now to the kids. But don't you think it'd be even more lovable if I kept this headpiece off? Think of the children. You're the one who wants to keep their sweet dreams alive, right? Thanks to this, people have been taking my picture all day. It's like I'm one of the mascot characters of this park. It's not like you are the mascot character. Well, one of them anyway. But you have no idea how hard it is to be one. You're not allowed to talk at all. Taking away my ability to talk has my effectiveness as a human being. You have a hard time not talking, but it seems like such an easy thing to do. What do you know, young'un? Just wait until you're my age, and then we'll see. Is it possible this loud old lady was once a quiet, fair maiden? Ah, impossible. Profile's not even here yet. Weren't you a security guard at one of the Gatewater hotels last time we met? I go where I'm needed. I'm very good at what I do, unlike the youth of today. I get called in all the time to fill in when there aren't enough hands. But enough about me, Edgy Poo. I'm thoroughly dejected right now. I finally get the chance to see you again, and here you are talking with two young girls. Men are all the same. It doesn't matter how old they get. They continue so you notice me when they arrange a marriage with an 18-year-old when he sees it years of permission, 3 years to ripen. Actually, you know what? Through the magic of history, we can actually read what she says now. Men are all the same. It doesn't matter how old they get. They continue to shamelessly flirt with young girls. Why, just the other day, it happened with my Yoon, who had finally gotten to notice me. He went and got into an arranged marriage with an 18-year-old. I don't see what he sees in her at all. As they say, the permission takes 3 years to ripen. That girl... They actually cut her off mid-sentence. You seem to attract all sorts of interesting people, Mr. Edgeworth. Kay, please, I'm begging you. By all means, do not provoke her any further. I like how we still don't have her name. We still don't have her age, and they still never list her name as at the top. The lady inside the Pink Badger, I believe her real name is Wendy Oldbag. Aren't you forgetting about something, Mr. Edgeworth? This person could be the witness. She's solving line puzzles left and right. Hopefully, I hope she isn't, but I don't think fate is going to be so kind today. I saw what happened. I even saw the exact moment it happened. How's that? So it's true, she is the witness. Oh, I don't suppose I could afford to ignore the old bag. Yes, it was just a little while ago. I saw it happen right in front of me. The moment of the murder. You mean to say that you witnessed someone being killed right before your eyes? Sounds like a pretty important piece of testimony to me. What Oldbag witnessed. I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw 2 men facing each other in that area. Suddenly there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground.
It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you. I gotta say, that's the most succinct testimony she's ever given. It's so weird that they don't make you dance around hoops just to get her to that point. Like, usually she would not start by even saying what she witnessed. Looks like we've hit the jackpot, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I can't afford to ignore what she has to say. Unfortunately. What's that unfortunately you tacked on to the end supposed to mean, Edgy Poo? Well, anyway, let's see what we could find out from this little old lady.
Hold it!
You mean you took a break from being the Pink Badger? You may not think it, but it's hard work keeping kids' dreams alive. You smell of sweat, your hip creaks with pain, you even begin to dream about work. That's the kind of story that would scar a child for life, you know. Well, that's why I chose to come to take my break here, whippersnapper. I don't plan on playing the part of the dead badger in front of a bunch of kids. So what did you see while you, the Pink Badger, were resting? Oh yes, that, well... Tough love.
Hold it!
Snows her sash there. You saw two men. Can you describe them for me? They look like your average Joes, completely uninteresting and not worth fawning over. I'm telling you, they were so boring I don't even remember much beyond that. But did they have any special features? Anything you could recall would be very helpful. Oh my, don't tell me you're jealous of those two men. Hey, she's right. You do seem pretty worked up over them, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not worked up over anyone, and I'm not jealous. It's alright, Edgy Poo. Those two were just foals compared to a stallion like you. I thought so little of them that I lost interest the instant I laid eyes on them.
Hold it!
You're claiming to have seen the exact moment in which the murder took place. Absolutely. The gun made a terrible racket when it was fired. You didn't try to go help the person that got shot? I'm only one person, you smart-alecky brat. What could I have done? But I took off as soon as I could to find someone who could help. Two men, one bullet. It's all consistent with what we found out from the body. Sadly, there wasn't exactly a lot of new information to go in on your testimony. Well, if I saw the guy again, I'm sure I could identify him for you. I mean, how do you expect me to remember anything without something to jog my memory? Self-centered, aren't we? While it was somewhat useful, her testimony also presents us with a new problem. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? Yes? Excuse me. So about this new problem, what is that giant grin on your face for? Do you want me to show you something really nice? No, thank you. Don't be so mean. I swear it's something you're going to like. No, not really, because this defies all logic. Wait till you see this thing. What is that gadget you're holding? What you see before you is the secret weapon of a great thief. Ah, I should have known it would be worthless. Oh, don't be like that. Ahem. What do you think now? What is it doing? It's projecting something into the air. They have holographic displays in 2019. Meanwhile, back in the first game, they had to take black and white photos of everything. How far technology progressed in 3 years. I'm going to input the necessary information to run the simulation now. Once I'm done, I'll increase the size of the projection to its maximum size. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird takes wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Fucked it up. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. We're about to enter the green zone. What is this? This is a recreation of the murder based on the info I inputted into Little Thief. Little Thief? I dare say I think you're taking the Robin Hood thing a bit too far. Little Thief is actually meant to be a simulator for me to plan my thefts. But I suppose if I used it like this... Let's see, Miss Oldbag said the two men were facing each other. And then a gunshot rang out and the victim fell to the ground. Ah, so with this we can expect the crime scene as it was in the past. I'm sure this is totally legal and with no problems whatsoever. See? So what do you think? I have to say I'm impressed by the technology these have access to these days. Well, it is the super secret weapon of the mighty Yatagarasu. Indeed. Oh, but if there isn't enough information or if something's out of place, recreation could come out a little strange. In other words, I could use this to authenticate the validity of a witness's testimony. You got it. You really catch on quick, Mr. Edgeworth. Right now, the simulation is a recreation of that witness's testimony. So for now, I should re-examine everything. If I find anything illogical or strange, I can then ask for clarification.
Feel free to examine anything in the simulation the same way you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction. And if you find something, I've got Little Thief with me, so just let me know, okay? Stadium. We're trapped in the cyber zone. Looks like they broke the stage down. The stage I saw this morning in the center of the stadium had been packed away. Guess this means they're done for the day. Or maybe it's because a different show is scheduled to start its run tomorrow. This is amazing! Just feel the power of science! What is this? Some sort of new attraction? So you believe that with this gadget, will provide us with the proof we need? Yeah, of course. Pretty neat, huh? By putting info in like this, we could recreate the crime scene exactly as it was. Although Little Thief was originally intended to be used as a training sim for heists. A training sim for thievery. I don't believe I could turn a deaf ear to that, Kay. That's for practice. Practice! It's not like I've actually stolen anything yet. Besides, we're in the middle of an investigation, so stop nitpicking. Even if it's just practice, I can't exactly endorse the act of stealing. Although, admittedly, this device is rather useful in this investigation. So how exactly am I supposed to use this to aid my investigation? Oh, that's right. I guess I should explain how to use it, huh? Objects outlined in yellow are things that are not present in our time, but were in the past. Things outlined in a dotted line are things that exist now, but didn't in the past. I see. So you can examine and interact with replicated people and objects the same as you normally do. You can even present evidence whenever you find an inconsistency. Oh, and be sure to point out mistakes in the recreation with the evidence, too. Very well. Let's continue with the investigation. If there's anything you don't know, something you don't get about the Little Thief, feel free to ask any time, okay? Nothing here in the dotted line. It's the silhouette of the killer with the gun at his ready. Welcome back, Karma. Okay, is it not possible to recreate the face of the killer? Well, I can't exactly input what we don't know into the Little Thief. She has a point. According to the testimony, the victim fell to the ground here. That's right, but if that's the case, then we've already found our first contradiction. Huh? What? Where? If this is the real scene of the crime, there's something missing that should be here. Which piece of evidence shows the missing item? Oliver Deacon, pending autopsy, time of death, pending autopsy, blah, 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 blah. Preliminary findings indicate a loss of blood resulting from a gunshot wound. Entry point, lower right abdomen, exit point, right shoulder. Lack of blood around the body suggests that the victim was killed elsewhere then moved. Which implies there should be evidence of blood at the real murder site.
Take that!
This is the contradiction. Is something wrong with my recreation? If this is the real scene of the crime, something specific should be here. If you think back, how did we deduce the other crime scene was not the real one? Oh, I get what's missing now. There's no blood in the ground here either, right? Right. The fact that there's no blood here casts doubt on the witness's testimony. Edgy Poo, how could you doubt me like that? Are you calling me a liar? I know what I saw, and I saw the victim get shot down. No, I don't think she's lying, Mr. Edgeworth. To be honest, I can't think of a reason why she would lie to me. In that case, maybe there's another explanation for the distinct lack of blood. Always doubt the old bag, yep. Ba-bam! It's not possible that the victim was wearing a costume, was it? So you really think that Mr. Deacon was one of the kidnappers? I think I could reasonably assume there was a very good chance that he was. And that if he was shot while inside one of those stolen costumes, then Mr. Deacon's blood would be inside the costume instead of on the ground. Precisely. Now, if only we could prove that the victim was wearing a costume. You think it'd be pretty easy if we could find some footprints. But the problem is finding them, since there doesn't seem to be any around. Footprints, huh? Wonder how we could go about finding some of those. I don't know. I don't have enough thoughts in my head. This is amazing. Just feel the power of science. Emma, about that method you were talking about for finding footprints. Ah, finally, my expert knowledge in forensics is needed. Yes, well, can you detect and trace even partial footprints? Leave it to me. My cutting-edge detection kit can find anything. Very well. If you could please analyze the footprints in this area. Okay, stand back and witness the power of science at work. You get 2 gimmicks in a row. Hey, I found something. Look, right here. No thoughts, head boompy. Yep. I don't see anything, except that huge bird in the corner. What the hell is that? Oh, that's right. Here, put these special glasses on, Mr. Edgeworth. These footprints were definitely left by the badger costume. I knew it! The RGC's work after all. Judging by the way the prints are layered, those seem to be the newest. I said that wrong, it's RCG. Then we can conclude that the victim was definitely wearing a costume at that time. Victim's costume data jotted down in my organizer. He was likely wearing one due to the footprint shape and the lack of blood. Okay, in that case, I'll update the Little Thief simulation parameters. Can't wait to see what we find out from this new info. Wow, so different. Investigation complete. That's actually really funny out of context. So the victim was wearing a costume when he died. And with that, we should be one step closer to the truth, right? I see the recreation has changed in accordance with the new information. Maybe closer now, but something else has caught my attention. What do you want? Your testimony, naturally. I'd like to hear it one more time, if you please. What Old Bag witnessed. I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw 2 men facing each other in that area. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It's a very terrifying experience, let me tell you. So does this mean Miss Oldbag's testimony is a contradiction in it? Yes, and I believe that our best course of action is to compare it with your recreation. See? Just knew Little Thief would be of help. Let's see if we could pull more info from Miss Oldbag to put in this recreation. For that, we must first find the contradiction in her testimony.
Hold it!
You saw two men. Can you describe them for me? They look like your average Joes, completely uninteresting and not worth fawning over. I'm telling you, they're so boring I didn't even remember much beyond that. But did they have any special features? Oh, wait. Okay, this is the same thing as before. Anyway, we know one of them was wearing a costume, so...
Objection!
It's like the easiest contradiction in the game. 2 men. How did you know the gender of the 2 people involved? Seeing as how the victim was wearing a costume at the time. Furthermore, I have another matter I'd like to inquire about. I'd very much like to know why you failed to mention the costume in your testimony. Beginning to doubt if you really witnessed the murder at all. But I'm telling you, I really did see it. I saw it with my very own eyes. From a seat in the 2nd tier. The 2nd tier? Hey, didn't you say you saw it right in front of you earlier? That was, you know, I was using the phrase in a metaphorical sense. I see our witness still has a screw loose in the metaphorical sense. The cushy seats in the 2nd tier are reserved for hotshot VIPs, which is exactly why I go there now and again to take a nap. Can't say you'd gotten good look from there. It's so high up. Were you able to see even the victim's costume from way up there? Well, I know I saw 2 people, but I couldn't really see what they looked like because they were in the stage's shadow. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, you know? Not like when I was young. People call me... Oh, I got it faded out on her.
Not like when I was young. People used to call me Eagle-Eyed Wendy back then. I could spot a good man from 100 paces away as I walked down the street, just like that. Of course, they also noticed me in a flash and tried to make their move, but I'm not that easy. I was a careful girl with a judgmental eye, but I never let a good man slip me by. You bet I didn't. If you could have seen... let's return to our investigation, shall we, Kay? You got it. Gonna eat lunch? Okay. This new silhouette of the victim is in a costume. Silhouette could change depending on the information I input. The little thief can recreate more than just people. So investigate away. We may even find more info, which way we can make a more accurate sim. Alright, sounds like a plan. Thanks to you, I was able to proceed my investigation once again. Thank you. Oh, it was nothing. Just glad that science and I could be of service. Pretty amazing I could see the footprints. So what's the secret behind that thing? Oh, you want to know? I'm here. You could read the manual. Aha, very interesting. So if I do this, I can avoid leaving footprints. She can't seriously be trying to use the information to her advantage as a thief. Wait. Huh. If that woman's testimony is to be believed, the murder occurred before the stage was broken down. Do you want me to input that bit of info into Little Thief? Yes, if you please. Okay. Through the floor. Battle of the Magicians, Max Galactica versus Troop Gramarye. And tomorrow there'll be a concert by the hip new rock band, the Gaviners. Not that either of these stage shows interest me in the least. Also, again, I pointed this out last stream, but, they misspelled, Gramarye here. It says Garmarye, G-A-R. Absolutely garmless behavior by the localizers. It was a simple mistake. I wonder if it was like that in the original, actually. I'm gonna look that up real quick. I'm very curious. Courtrecords.net. Locations, Edgeworth. Oh, in the original version, there was no... the sign was unreadable. It was written, you could see it was written in Japanese, but it was unreadable. You could see event program, but then everything else below is just like garbled. But yeah. Anyway, Troop Gramarye and the Gaviners will become important in a couple games. Not the next game, but a couple games from now. You'll be hearing those names again. This new silhouette of the victim is in a costume. Silhouettes can change depending on the information I put, but the Little Thief can recreate more than just people. Yeah, right, we know that. Hey, there's a mic up there. What kind of ninja is the Jammin' Ninja? He's no slouch, no way, you betcha. You're the best, Jammin' Ninja. Always trying to thank ya. Everyone's always trying to thank ya. How was that? How was what? You know, it would be really awesome if we put a band together. I could see it now. Great thief and a prosecutor, stealing the hearts of millions around the world. The only instruments I could play are the flute and the piano. You can play the flute while playing the piano? That's really fresh. How many hands do you think I have? Besides, I haven't agreed to anything yet.
There's clearly a contradiction here. Please stop stealing my lines. I'm pointing over to nothing. You're standing next to me. Oh, come on. It wasn't that hard to see it coming, even for a layman like me. I suppose, in any case, it's not possible for the killer to have stood here in that way, because there was a very real stage set up in this spot at the time. Yeesh. Told you I got it. Do you feel the need to explain everything? Yes, well, in any case, we still need to resolve this unusual situation. Isn't it obvious? The killer was on top of the stage, naturally. Right, Miss Oldbag? Yes, I remember now. The killer was standing on top of the stage. See, now let me update the info in the simulation. Can already tell that's not right either. No, we're not complete. We know something's wrong here. Well, what do we have here? Bunch of hooligans running amok, I see. Agent Lang, how nice of you to join us. Well, I can't have you going around messing up my crime scenes. Agent Lang, we discovered the real scene of the murder is here, the stadium. I see. Thanks. For what? I'm just trying to show you my appreciation for all the time you saved me. Who knew that such a strange little toy could recreate a crime scene like that? Little Thief is not a toy. You two. Sir. Excuse me, I had a cough there. And there you have it. You see? Big boys like me don't need silly toys, little girl. Now this is a recreation. So what, do you still intend to assert that Officer Meekins is the killer? Of course! Even knowing that the crime took place here doesn't let him off the hook. Agent Lang's logic. This is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. And when the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. That's the truth that your little recreation showed. Just had a thought, this Blue Badger All-Stars a drawing Gumshoe made, and then it became a Blue Badger Festival, yeah. That's true, didn't... No, the police chief designed Blue Badger, didn't he? Oh, excuse me. Still a little mucusy. How far will you go to accuse Officer Meekins of the crime? He's the most likely suspect we've got, especially given the situation with his gun. Well, even if he is the killer, at least my recreation was on the mark. You see? Thank you for your understanding, my little crow girl. I'm not some common crow. I'm the Yatagarasu, the Raven of Legend. Unfortunately, your conclusion is yet to be tested, so let's see how well it holds up. This is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the... Oh, wait, whoops.
Hold it!
Supposed to be pressing that. Blue Badger TF? Now that is truly cursed karma. Looks like we found the real crime scene first. Ha! Brag all you want, but we don't all have all the free time in the world, unlike you two. You know what you remind me of? A dog licking his wounds as he whimpers home. Well, I guess I should be thankful for all the time you saved me. Jeje. That's how we say thanks in my country. You're welcome. Hope you realize we didn't do all of this for him. But I'm here now, so I'll be taking over. As I was saying, this is where the crime took place.
Hold it!
Lying in wait. How did Officer Meekins even know the victim was going to come here? Simple. He was investigating the kidnappers, right? And while he was doing so, he came to understand the victim, Mr. Deacon's movements.
Objection!
Why would the good officer want to ambush and kill a kidnapper?
Not so fast!
You mean his motive? Who knows and who cares? You could find that out for yourself when you talk to him in jail. You have no respect for the order of law. Don't get me wrong, but I need more than there's no motive to convince me otherwise. He's right, the lack of a motive is a rather weak argument by itself. So the officer lay in wait on top of the stage.
Hold it!
So you agree with how our recreation turned out. Like I said, I'm grateful you were able to save me some time. Alright, but we still don't know why he chose to wait on top of the stage. Who cares? Maybe he wanted to become the Blue Badger. Who's to say he didn't see the stage and decide to put on the Badger stage show of his own? Or maybe there's a completely different reason? What does it matter? It still doesn't change the fact that Officer Meekins stood up on that stage and shot the victim on the ground below. That's the truth your little recreation showed. So you honestly believe what you're saying is what really occurred? Hey, you're the ones who came up with the scenario. Are you saying you doubt yourselves? Touché. Unfortunately, Agent Lang's conclusions do not contradict with our recreation. Then what does that... Then does that mean it all went down just as he says? No, not quite. What if what we had recreated earlier was the whole truth? He couldn't be shot from up high because he was shot through his abdomen, and then the exit point was his shoulder, so he got shot from below.
Objection!
Lang's logic is so goopy. It's not goopy. I'd say it's sound given the information he had. He's just cocky about it. I'm terribly sorry, Agent Lang. I should have warned you that our recreation is incomplete. You cut in quite unexpectedly, after all. What's that supposed to mean? You said that the victim was shot by the killer from up above, correct? I hate to break it to you, but that's not possible. Huh? Why not? Recall Mr. Deacon's body, specifically where the gunshot wounds were located. Actually, I didn't get that good of a look. Oh, well then. The bullet entered Mr. Deacon in his abdominal region and exited his right shoulder. This is more consistent with an angled shot from beneath the victim. Then, yes, our recreation had the victim being shot at an angle from above. A clear contradiction. You're discounting your own conclusions? No, this one point is the only flaw. This was the mistaken parameter on a recreation. Stage's location and witness location, the killer and victim's locations. Yes, the locations of the killer and victim are wrong. I get it. I see what you're trying to say. I believe the killer and the victim were standing opposite to what we initially thought. It was the victim who was on top of the stage as he was being shot by the killer. Wham. If this is what happened, it also explains the positioning of the gunshot wounds. But then what about the footprints? Since footprints don't lie, we could assume that the killer also wore a costume. Okay, I'll try using that data instead. And now it goes from human on badger crime to badger on badger crime. Like how the body still overlaps the stage. Look at the legs on the fallen body. It's still over the drum. Judging by the fact that both the killer and the victim are wearing costumes, I'd say it was a killing between the two kidnappers. That would be the most natural conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Agent Lang? Well done, Mr. Prosecutor. But that alone doesn't clear Officer Meekins of the crime. Another bit of proof. Ask that you take another good look at the tire marks over there. The 3 marks are indicative of the Blue Badger mobile. That story Officer Meekins told about the shop on the wheels was getting stolen was just a lie. He drove the Blue Badger mobile here and committed the murder. Then he used the car to move the body to the garage in the Wild Wild West area. You believe he moved the body with a car? That's right, it was Officer Meekins himself who pointed us to the way he did it. The 3 tire tread marks are very telling. However, it's the Blue Badger mobile that's the only thing capable of creating such a pattern.
Hold it!
Oh no! Guess what I just did? Oh god, I think that's the first time it's ever happened on stream. Oh. That's what I get for yawning. Okay, it wasn't that bad. I've definitely done that way worse before. Tire marks. Yes, the tire marks. The ones behind the stage. I didn't even see those. They were hidden up there until now by various pieces of stage equipment. What happened? I pulled my TMJ. The muscle that goes between your jaw and the rest of your skull. Sometimes when I yawn, that happens. It's very painful. No bird-on-bird violence. What? There's no bird-on-bird violence here. As for when they were made, they must have been made after the rain had begun to fall, correct? Yes, and probably around the same time when the killer's footprints were made. The tires on that blue Badger-mobile probably got pretty muddy because of that. I'd say it's obvious the blue Badger-mobile. I'd say it's the blue Badger-mobile because, well, that's pretty obvious too.
Hold it!
3 tire marks. I have to agree that the blue Badger-mobile has 3 tires. Of course, the only thing in this park that can make those marks is that roving shop.
Objection!
Are you forgetting that there are in fact 3 of them? You can't simply ignore the pink and proto-Badger-mobiles, Agent Lang.
Not so fast!
Of course, I didn't say it couldn't be either of the other 2. But I see no reason to drag them into this just to complicate things.
Hold it!
Of course, you have some sort of proof that it was all a lie, correct? Of course not. Well, then that was blunt. But suppose it is a lie. It would explain a lot of things. Like his movements and his whereabouts.
Hold it!
So you still claim that the tire marks belong to the blue Badger-mobile. Must have arrived on the scene after the ground had become wet with rain. Officer Meekins committed the murder.
Hold it!
Besides the blue Badger-mobile, there are other ways the body could have been moved.
Not so fast!
Recall what the Wild Wild West area looked like. Only the blue Badger-mobile and Mr. Deacon's body were in the garage. I'd say that's proof. Suppose if one were to look at that place, that's the only logical conclusion. However, my experience tells me that the truth is usually not so easily found. There's some sort of problem with Agent Lane's statement with regards to that scene. It's like the only thing that the car was selling was death, not dreams. Only if what Agent Lang believes this turns out to be true. The 3 tiled tread marks are very telling. However, is the blue Badger-mobile the only thing capable of creating such a pattern? Ah, 3 tire treads. What else could have caused it? I don't know what else it could be.
Hold it! Objection! Not so fast!
The wires aren't dirt. What? Oh.
Objection!
Yeah, because it came after it rained. Yeah. You said the wires aren't dirty. Sorry, Agent Ling, but that's an impossible tale. And why is that? Those tire marks could not have been left by the Officer Meekin's blue Badger-mobile. One look at the car would have told you so. What proves it? Whoa. What proves that the blue Badger-mobile had never been to this stadium?
Take that!
Take a good look at these tires. There's not even a single dollop of mud to be found on it. And this car had come backstage to the backstage area and left those tire tracks. And the lack of mud on these tires stands out as very peculiar indeed. And how do you explain the tire tracks, genius? Hey, I've got it. What about Miss Olbeck's pink Badger-mobile? Don't be ridiculous. I was sleeping the entire time in the second-tier seats. Indeed, I believe we could rule her out as someone related to the crime. However, there's yet one more roving store, as I recall. Oh, you mean the Proto-Badger? That's right, there was one more parking space inside that garage. And it proves the existence of a Proto-Badger-mobile. Agent Lang, I suggest you find this Proto-Badger-mobile post-haste. There must still be some sort of incriminating evidence in it. Hey, did you hear something? Oh. Help me. Are you alright? Well, this is something. Looks like we found our kidnapping victim. Where were you all this time? Wild West with kidnappers. He was in the room next to the one I was being held in. Ran away using underground and got lost. The kidnappers... What is it? I can't understand what you're trying to say. The kidnappers escaped wearing costumes. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, didn't see their faces, but two. One was a woman. A woman? Quite an important piece of testimony. Hey, what are you guys doing? Stop standing there and get your cops on this already. Those fucking ridiculous looking glasses of his. I'll even let you guys have what this kid said just now. Consider it a gift. Now, are you going to get on my crime scene, or am I going to have to get rough? Ugh. Again? You're nothing but a big bully. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go. Oh, no, not you. You're a very important witness for my case. I'm not about to let you get away that easily. Don't count me to testify, because I won't. Not for you. That's right, I won't either. You hear me, you young whippersnapper? Hey, calm down. There's no need for all this hostility. I just want to take a statement from each of you. I'm not going to rough either of you up. I give you my word. Come on now, fair maidens. What do you say? Will you cooperate? Fair maidens? My, you little rascal, you sure know the way into a woman's heart. Lang Zi says, the passage of time is but a fleeting moment, and a lady is young forever. Trying to outdo my edgy poo with your fancy schmancy sayings. Let's get this over with, so we're clear. I'm only interested in giving you my statement. Sure, just as soon as Mr. Prosecutor leaves us be. Mr. Edgeworth? To be continued. They do not have the right... They do have the right to not testify, true. Regrouping with Ernest Armano. Why did I say Hermana? What the fuck? March 13th, 2:34 p.m. Wild Wild West area. Looks like we got the boot again. With Lance safe, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. Wait, what? Why did it skip that? You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnappers. Miles, my boy! Oh! Tell me it's true. Tell me you've really found my boy. Yes, Mr. Amano, we found him earlier in the stadium. Then my little Lance is unhurt? He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang. Poor Lance. Must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a... Let me just cope seethe and mauled over that for a bit. Excuse me, if you could just let me through here. Sorry, I can't let anyone through. Agent Lang's orders. Suppose I'll have to deal with this impasse for now. Okay, this is like the exact same flavor text from last time. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Good work, officer. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Thought you wanted to talk with Mr. Romano and Miss Pops. I do. Perhaps I should start with them before I do anything else. So this must be the Blue Badger mobile that Officer Meekins was driving. He said it was stolen, didn't he? Don't tell me you were the one that stole it. What the heck are you talking about? I don't even have a license. It's illegal to drive a car without a license. A great thief never breaks the law. This little girl has a very odd understanding of the word law. It's a set of tracks originating from the garage. Ha, so that means a car left from the garage at some point, right? Correct, but for the car to leave these tracks, it would mean that it left during the passing rain. That's the only explanation as to why these tracks are made of mud. Three treads. We could also safely assume it's a special type of car. Go here now. To think they were but a hotel, but now they have their own safari park attraction. Talk about a veritable goulash of rides and attractions. So many of them, you'd think they would have a ninja house here. One of those buildings with a zillion secret places to hide in. Those are fun. Well, they don't. Hey, how can you be so sure? Oh, I know. I bet they really do have one, but it's hidden in real ninja fashion. Come on out, Ninja House. I know you're hidden around here somewhere. Hidden Ninja House. Next you'll be looking for a lost pirate ship. This man looks suspiciously like the precinct. Look at that lovely smile on the Blue Badger's face. Ah, it's looking at me. Make it stop. Scary. It's scary. It's alright, dear. You want to know something? I was the one who created the Blue Badger. See? Look at his eyes. Don't they look like Daddy's? It's scary. It's scary because they do look like yours, Daddy. Well, that was rather depressing. I think I'd rather leave the two of them alone. I'm a hotel attraction. I'm a bouncy castle. The Blue Badger's daddy awarded. Nice. What are you talking about? I don't look like a bouncy castle. I'm a trampoline at best. Why is there a Blue Badger here, too? Are you deathly allergic to him or something? It's not that. It's more the half smile on his face. It's really unsettling. She's disturbed by the half smile. I'm more disturbed by its movements and how it managed to obstruct an investigation. That lamp looks like it's got a that lamp looks like it's got a lot of good stories to tell about the olden days. Oh, it looks incredibly new to me. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you need to lighten up and get a sense of humor. That was rather rude, but just this once I'll look the other way. On second thought, maybe the first thing you need to work on is tact. You could say that they say that couples who cross this bridge together will find happiness. Or so the Gatewaterland pamphlet says. But you'd think that they'd already be happy because they're able to come together. Logistics aside, I wonder who came up with this tale and when. This bridge doesn't look to be old enough to be the stuff of legends. Well, some things are better left uninvestigated, don't you think? Ignorance is bliss. Wouldn't Edgeworth see them out in the lake over there? So we'd actually see them like close up in good detail. in the DS version, the sprites are so pixelated you could barely tell it's them. I like Phoenix in this. It's interesting because since Phoenix doesn't actually show up normally, this is like the only time you get to see him in this style. It's them. Yeah, I did get an award for an accolade for that. It was right over there with right spelled W-R-I-G-T-H-G-H-T. It's the trio. By the way, that's the only appearance he makes this entire game, and Edgeworth pays no mind to him whatsoever. Why are they still letting people into the park if there's been a murder? That's what I want to know. And why isn't Phoenix concerned about it? Surely he would have heard of it by now. He loves me not. He loves me not. Oh, that's the 12th one. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. I suppose if they were me, then... I believe you said that you were Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but... Oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either? I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring. It's a ring pop. Yeah, I knew it. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. Ah, it's so wonderful. You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring? I knew that was going to be candy. It looked too weird to be an actual jewel. So which is it? Have you guys decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know? My father used to work for Mr. Romano. And so Lance and I grew up together. I said that out loud. I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amano Group. What did he do? Heard his job was to fly around the world. On Pegasus. Pegasus? Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company. You had me there for a second. But now it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned. Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown. Sounds like the stuff of legends made or sounds like the stuff legends are made of. Why are they letting people in the park if there was a murder? I mean, there was a murder at Disney, yet they were still opening. I think it's more of a cool dead body. Let's poke it. Pretty sure Phoenix would be more concerned if it was a dead body. It's been so long. I don't think I'd recognize him if I were to meet him again. I'm so sorry, Lauren. But I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren. Live. And eat my ring pop. About this incident. Incident? Isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here the whole time, so I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident. How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped? Oh, that's because of my woman's intuition. You based everything on that? I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. Must be destiny. She started fantasizing again. Do you know what this is? It's a prosecutor's badge. I'm not a bad person, and I'm not out to seduce you. Come on, won't you talk? No, you're showing that to me to lord over me with how much authority you have. Well, I will not be bullied. You should be ashamed of yourself, you evil man. How should I repent in order for this woman to talk to me? This right here is Lance's and Mai's Castle of Love. It's the perfect new house for us, made of candies and sweets. But I can't seem to get the door open. Why? Because this is a theme park, and I highly doubt they would let you live here for real. You won't let me live in my own house? You truly are a terrible man, you know that? What? But I have nothing to do with that! Lance and I met in a street corner by the crosswalk. I was so busy eating a loaf of bread that I ran right into him. It was destiny, as people like to say. I'll take that as she's not interested in this. I'm interested in this. If I show this to her, she'll probably just go on about another one of her fantasies. If you're not going to show it to her, then why not give it to me for safekeeping? Why would I do anything of the sort? Huh? About what we found when we examined the victim. Ah! What? You big bully, I can't believe you'd show me something so gruesome. But I have to admit that I kind of like that mavericky aura around him. Oh, Lauren, are you becoming bad as well? She's off in La La Land again, I see. Ah, it's a monster! A hideous monster! I know that it may look like a monster, however I'd like to ask you about it. Oh, Lance up in heaven, send your little lolly your strength. But he's not dead. If you lend me your strength, I can defeat the bad monster and live a long and happy life. I'm beginning to suspect that you are not very good at this listening business. Really dislike Pop. She gives you that April May Dahlia Hawthorne personality. I think she's just a ditz. Complete ditz. Lance Amano. Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. It was nothing. What was that voice? It was nothing. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver. But I have to say, I'm relieved that Lance is alright. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. A letter? The way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. Almost can't believe he received yet another love letter, you know? Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? My dear Lance Amano, may I come see you again? Your beloved Viola. It's a very simple love letter. Oh, hey, let me see. That's really weird. It's from a loan company. Tender Lender. Looks more like a collection bill to me. Tender Lender Loan Company. You can almost make out what it says. Yeah, Viola was the girl from the Imposter Phoenix case, the one who had the head bandage on. Who talked about making the special tea for people. Love letter, Jada, jotted down on my organizer. Letter for Lance Amano. The sender is the Tender Lender Loan Company. See, if now Phoenix was here, he would have known about this, because that case canonically takes place what, like in January of this year. So it would have been like 2 months ago. Phoenix would have known that name and that company immediately. So what are you going to do now, Mr. Edgeworth? We already established that there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. Viola was your fave? She was an interesting character. I thought Furio Tigre would be more your style, Karma. I believe there's one location that might hold a clue or two. Isolation room, crime scene, kidnapper's hideout. The obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout. We're still not allowed in, remember? Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there's no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. What do you have to report? Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir. Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir, Roger, sir. That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in? Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me personally to let you in, sir. I couldn't refuse a request from him. Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following. Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What is this? The men in this picture. Isn't this Mr. Oliver Deacon? Colin Deveray, sex male, dominant hand right. Height 5'8", weight 123.45 pounds. That's a very interesting number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whereabouts unknown after escape from Pen E. Dent prison. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are. But despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. Penny Dent. Pendant. But the names here says Colin Deveray. When creating an alias, never go with an anagram. It's the same as the name on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin Deveray was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison. What? What was he doing here? Apparently he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become the Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Oh yeah, it's literally just an anagram of his actual name. I wonder if there's a joke on pendant or penitent. Probably both, because he has the pendant. Details Oliver Deacon's real name and history. I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? These police documents are rather detailed. Should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. It's fine. Oh, it's fine. Let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout. Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later. More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer. It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then the door's been wide open, sir. Not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Care to explain in a bit more detail? Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room. So they got about 10 officers to help and break down the door, sir. I see. Guess that means I get Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we could find. March 13th, 2:55 p.m. Kidnapper's hideout. So this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed. While you were tied up in the room next door. Okay, please, must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. Might there still be some clues left in this room? Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. This door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Doorknob handle thingy's looking pretty beat up. Suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Hey, that's odd. The lock is completely fine. Look, not a single dent. How's that possible after what the officer told us? Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, the lock itself should be completely wrecked. So the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged. How could that be? Looks like a sword. A broken sword. Yeah, suddenly this looks like Zero... Yeah, this looks like the holding cells at the beginning of Zero Time Dilemma. Looks like a sword. A broken sword. Strange. Why would it be broken like that? Broken prop sword. The lock wasn't being used. The sword was being used to hold the door shut. Swords don't usually break on their own. That's true. Alright then, let's think about it this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for something. Use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think on this more later. Oh, they have barrels like these just outside. Yes, and? Well, I already know I asked you when we were out there, but if these were real, what would you put in them? There's an expectant gleam in her eyes, and I'm about to dash. Nothing unusual about this area. Panel that hid the entrance to the underground is propped up and wide open. Careful where you step. Be careful where you step, Kay. I only fell into that other opening once, you know? Babushka. It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock and anyone could tell it was not in use at the time. But the policeman outside said that it took 10 men to get it open. It took 50 men. A door that was locked tight despite it being not locked at all. It can only be because of this. Oh, you mean? Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. Do you see how the handle is completely destroyed? That's how the sword broke. Used to jam the handle to the hideout's door. Okay. Here, there's a trap door in this room too. It's not a trap door. It's an entrance to an underground passage, Kay. I know that. The door leading to the outside world was locked, so Lance must have escaped his prison through here. This must be where they dispose of the old and worn-out costumes. That's so sad. It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth. It's a broken mirror. Probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? Unused folding chairs lean against the walls of the wall in their folded state. There. Folding table.
Then you get to the last scene, which takes place in the dance club, but now the dance club is an auction hall. all of the valuable auction items, which came from like a dollar store and they're made out of plaster, are sitting on a folding table that's covered with a dirty tablecloth.
What's a chable?
Table? Folding table.
Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in their folded state. Wow, whoever lined these up did it perfectly. There's not even a single hair off. I feel bad using these because it'd be like stealing the perfection away. What are you talking about? The chair in the back is like clearly nudged out. I feel like Edgeworth would survive in Zero Escape. He'd try. I don't know if he would, but he would try. I suspect it's more like you wouldn't want to be the one to put them away. Can't really apply the logic of Zero Escape to the logic of Ace Attorney. They're two different worlds. A sign advertising the photo rally. Something I have absolutely no interest in. Why is he floating? I like how he just overlapped the sign so it looks like he's floating above the ground. Yeah, but I do, and I'm gonna get my hands on the rest of the Badger family. You'll see. She definitely brings a decidedly different atmosphere to a criminal investigation. Folding chairs, and by the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers. There are 3 chairs set around the table. Edgeworth God confirmed. Yeah, he's built different. Poster of Gatewaterland is stuck up on this wall. Intrigue, fun, prestige. Gatewaterland has it all and is waiting for you. It's not especially catchy, is it? Cheap styrofoam cups. Looks like only 3 cups were used. Cups. Cupped hands. Cupped hands. Pooping into my cupped hands. Pooping. Cupped hands. I wonder what this key is to. He got me. Reminds me of the key we found in the other room. That's it! Must be the key for one of the trapdoors. That wasn't a trapdoor. You only called it one because you quite literally jumped into it. Hey, but isn't that what you were supposed to do when you see one? I'm not having this conversation with you. There's others here. There are 3 of each, meaning there were 3 people here. The common denominator between the cups and the folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3. Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers. Indeed, something isn't adding up, literally. Is it possible that there's a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see? Thought we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers, but instead we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. Ah! Oh my god, that is terrifying. What is it? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct? What are you doing suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that? This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. We Badgers also make use of it in our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first and then we'll talk, okay? And I beg your pardon, miss. Proto-Badger, get. Alright, only 1 more to go. What are you getting all excited about? Did you forget? The photo rally, duh! See, look, now all I have to do is get a picture of the bad Badger and I'm done. Ah yes, I vaguely recall a contest or something of that sort. He literally just examined a board that mentioned it. Behind you! Badger jump scare, yeah. What? It's gone, but where did it go? Who is this? What happened? What's wrong? A bad Badger costume is missing, sir. Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnappers stole it. I heard about how they were stolen, but they said only 3 of the costumes have been taken. What? He's saying that more than 3 of them are gone. Mr. Proto-Badger, please tell us a little more about these costumes you use. Who is this? Oh, the pooping into my cupped hands thing? That's, I don't know if that's... I don't know if he thought of it, but there was a live stream that, Aaron and Dan from Game Grumps did one time. And the way Dan did his mic check at the beginning was that he would go up to it and he would say cupped hands, like really, really emphasizing the P, because then you get, like, the pop filter noise. Like, you gotta, like, essentially, the plosion, excuse me. I don't know how I forgot that term. Essentially, he was testing plosions on the microphone, and he just kept saying cupped hands, pooping into my cupped hands. Because, you know, he's an adult and he makes adult jokes. Did we miss anything here? I guess not. Beyond this door is where the kidnappers held you after getting the jump on you. Why should you keep reminding me? But it's the room where I got to see your awesome no face. You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. What did you mean by a bad badger costume is missing? Why, just what I said, sir. We're one bad badger short. Counting the spares, we have 2 of each costume on hand at all times. Okay, so because one of them is walking around the park, the other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the bad badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It's the stage show where the bad badger wreaks havoc around the park. And the other badgers work together to apprehend him, sir. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Especially running around with a gun? Oh my god. Can you imagine a theme park trying to do that nowadays? Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. Then doesn't it make it near impossible to take a picture of the bad badger? Personally, I can't believe that it's so close to the showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir? All this basically means that the kidnapper stole 4 costumes in total. Are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers? No, I don't think that's very likely. Oh? Recall the costumes for a minute. The stolen ones, you mean? What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist?
Take that!
If you had 4 people and you wanted to steal the 4th costume, wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal the pink badger costume instead? Yeah, that makes sense. And yet the kidnappers decided to steal another bad badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 bad badger costumes. The question is, why? I was wondering, if you don't mind, Mr. Proto-Badger, how did you know my name? You're pretty famous, sir. I would think that most people would know who you are. Famous? Me? Absolutely, sir. You're always very active in the community, I hear. Wow, I didn't know you were such a celebrity, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've met this person before. Maybe it's my imagination? Absolutely. Oh, wait, huh? Who is that? That's not Meekins, is it? Now I'm actually concerned. Absolutely. Who speaks like that? Fuck.
Folding table.
Folding table. Oh! Oh, okay, I know what it is. It's the way he said absolutely. No. Yeah, the way he says this, with the emphasis on the so, it's what's his name? Does he have a name? It's the bellhop from the first 2 games. The way he speaks is like very, very similar to that. I was gonna pull up an image, but it's like lagging. It's this dude. Which makes sense because he's involved in every other case that the Gatewater is involved in. Gatewater Hotel, the case at the other hotel, both of the Gatewater hotels as well as Gatewater Land, so it makes sense that it's him.
That's covered with a...
Sorry. Yeah, it's Mr. Bellhop. Oh, it's got an ad for a Jack in the Box, so they name-dropped Ronald McDonald, which is a weird thing to do considering they don't associate him with the restaurant anymore. Are they taunting the charity company? No, they're probably just taunting McDonald's. They don't really... I mean, they don't not associate Ronald with McDonald's, do they? Like, he's not in the commercials, but they never straight up said he's not part of the company. I don't know. Hey, Ayla. I never knew that. I didn't realize this is supposed to be the bellhop. I thought he was, like, rich because of all the shit that happens in the first 2 games. Wait, when oh. Ronald becomes public domain. Does he? Rogold McDougald. The second badge. They are not allowed to legally use model for McDonald's advertising and stuff anymore. Really? Since when? Yet Grimace still gets his fucking shake. That's weird. Second Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we'd think. Bit tired. I had to go to a funeral today and then I went to visit your friends. Social battery spent. You're gonna lurk a bit? Okay. It's alright, EV2. Thank you. Thank you for telling me, but I'm sorry to hear that, too. Ah, my knee. So I mentioned this before, but the scabs are coming off my knee. There's one that's, like, hanging half off, and I can't remove it because it's still stuck on the other half, and I don't want to damage the skin peeling it off. But, yeah, it's... My leg's getting itchy now because it's starting to flake off. My hand re-scabbed itself, but it's also starting to flake off, so thankfully those will both be back to normal soon. But yeah, bending my knee still hurts a little bit because there's still a scab, like, stretched over the joint. Second Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we'd think. What do you mean? The costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say it's wearing some very telltale pants? Hey, you're right. Let's get it out of there and take a look. As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume. Well, minus the head. Won't rest until I've inspected every blah-blah-blah-blah-blah. Wonder why the Bad Badger costume's right hand is torn up like that. Maybe it's a flesh wound from a fight with the Blue Badger. Always knew the Blue Badger was one ferocious beast. I somehow doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as that, Kay. Look, its hand is hurt. It's more like something is ripped off of it. They were forced to make a decision between him being a mascot for the company or for the charity, and then with the charity. So he's exclusively part of that now, really. Get the intent of the ad since people still associate him with McDonald's, but still LOL. Yeah, I didn't know that, so... There you go. Wonder if Jack in the Box will get in trouble for that. There are 3 folding chairs over on this side. Can't say that they were arranged nearly as nicely as their siblings to the right. Think so? I think they're just fine, like a bunch of used chairs ought to be. I'm beginning to think you must keep a most chaotic room. Hey, don't slander and sigh at me all in one shot. Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in their folded state. Wonder why the table probably came from the stack. What else am I supposed to investigate here? Oh, deduce, okay. Could be the sword, right? This is a clear contradiction of the facts. Huh? What are you talking about? You gonna fill me in or not? Wait, maybe it's not quite so clear. Even so, it's still a contradiction, right? Or it might not be. You're acting really weird, Mr. Edgeworth. Just tell me if it's a contradiction or not. My apologies. Definitely something off about this costume. If I could envision the truth in my head, I'd be one step closer to it. Feet. A lot of evidence in this game that you just can't examine. I also forgot how badly Twitch runs on your now 11-year-old laptop. Love typing causes the stream to lag out a bit. Gmail does that for me, even on my new computer, my current computer. I'll be typing on Gmail and it'll just lag, and I'm like, why is Gmail so shit right now? Oh, I don't know. There it is. Gun.
Eureka!
I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. Between what? Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something in its right hand that it should be. A vile criminal with a gun! I'm gonna try to have 2 streams open to keep yours while watching the FF14 Direct to TGS, please, soon. My laptop doesn't explode from that. I would not do that. I am... Oh! Actually, what time is it? 1:20? In 25 minutes, I'm gonna take a break. And then I'm gonna... At 2, we're gonna watch the Ace Attorney video and be disappointed that it's not Ace Attorney 7. Even though we know it's not Ace Attorney 7 now. And then I'll finish this chapter up afterwards. Oh, the gun. A gun with 1 bullet, yeah. Precisely. The Bad Badger was designed to... The Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. We know it's not... They said, don't expect anything new in quotation marks. So, they're trying to temper our expectations, but I don't know for what. People are guessing that it might mean we might get an announcement of maybe like a Layton versus Ace Attorney port, since it's the only Ace Attorney game we don't have ported to modern consoles. Which would be cool, but also don't know why that wouldn't have been announced during the level 5 stuff the other day. Maybe they wanted to wait until like the later one. However, you there, did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand? No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume. As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show. It seems that our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. It was ripped from the Bad Badger costume. It's capable of firing blanks. I think we're about done with this room. So what's next? Well, we found a few answers, but there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay. Like a PL versus AA port, but that's also the game that I've replayed the most besides the first game, so it'd have to be significantly improved for you to get it again. I got it back in... I didn't get it until like the end of 2019, because my brother bought me a replacement for my 3D... Because my 3DS XL was like deteriorating, because I had it since like near launch, and it was pretty broken, so my brother got me a used new 2DS XL for Christmas that year. And I just bought Layton vs. Ace Attorney because I was like, you know what? Finally time to play this. Hey, if it gets a physical release, that'd be great. I don't have it physically, so I'd be more than willing to buy it. Then, you know what I'd like though? I'd like for the Ace Attorney trilogy, like the original one, to get another enhanced release. Because let's be honest, it isn't the best. They aren't the best ports. I would like to see those enhanced the same way that Apollo Justice and these are enhanced. And then re-released physically, so I could get a physical edition of that. Even if I already own the original trilogy on Switch. Just so then I could own a physical copy of every game. That'd be cool. That'd be a neat collection to have. March 13th, 3:34 p.m. Hey, that's the town I was born. Wild Wild West area. I was born at 3:34 p.m. Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Remember, at least filled all the save files. I don't remember if I deleted the one to play again or not. Wow. I don't know why. That's a long game, too. I would not want to play it that many times. I still have 2 Layton games I haven't played yet. 3, 4, when New World of Steam comes out. Gotta hurry, sir. Come on! What is it, detective? They found a Blue Badger costume down at the front of the main gate, sir. What? Isn't that the one the kidnappers was wearing? Bingo. That's why you gotta come to the main gate with me right now. If we hurry, we might still be able to get there before Wolf Boy does, sir. Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. Still haven't played any other Layton game for some reason, Lamau. I've played the original... Don't know why when I love that one so much. They're pretty good. I've played... The original Layton trilogy is... Oh my god. It's fun. It's fun. The stories are very, like... There's something about the stories, like the whimsy of it all, that's just very interesting. And the way they always resolve is very... fantastical and almost like kind of... Like it makes you almost want to cry. I'll say this, after playing the first 2 games, the end of the third game absolutely makes you cry. Holy shit. The third Layton game is like one of the most, like... I don't even want to say, because I don't want to spoil it. I should stream those at some point. They're such good games. Final confrontation, former. So we still got at least 2 more chapters here for this. March 13th, 3:45 p.m. So it takes you 11 minutes to get outside from where the Wild West area is. Gate Waterland, main gate. I know nothing about the mobile remakes. I've played the original trilogy. I played on the DS. The second trilogy, I've played the DS game in it, and then I started the first 3DS game and never finished it. And I own the second 3DS game, never finished it. And then I've played through Layton versus Ace Attorney. I have not played Catriel Layton. I have not played. Well, obviously, New World of Steam isn't out yet. Oh, I did play Layton Brothers Escape Room or whatever it's called, the iPhone exclusive game that supposedly involves Layton's son, which is really weird because he's never mentioned in the other game with Layton's offspring. So who knows? I don't know. I think New World of Steam is going to be like a prequel because Luke is in it and he's still a kid. So because the first trilogy, I know I'm going off on a tangent now. The first trilogy of Layton games are like the main trilogy. The second trilogy are actually all prequels that take place before the main trilogy. As is the movie. The movie's good too. I recommend watching the movie. What is it called? Professor Layton and the Golden Diva? Yeah, the Golden Diva. That's the movie. It's pretty good. I think I heard something about it being redubbed with different voice actors, but I don't know if it's better or not. I don't know either. Professor Layton vs. Ace Attorney 3DS game is cool too, yeah. I know nothing. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Just the other side of the fountain, sir. Like 2 feet away from you. Was it out here in the open all along? Oh, that was Kay saying that. Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. I also got attacked by a Pikachu. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. And let's get down to it. I won't rest until I've said this thing I say every time I inspect stuff. This headpiece must be the Blue Badger Officer Meekins crossed paths with. Oh, the nerve of someone throwing a Blue Badger away like this. I worked so hard to create this character. It's like my baby. How could someone do this, sir? How? Detective, how about channeling your anger towards finding the culprits? The police chief designed the Blue Badger. Gumshoe was the one who made that cardboard cutout that dances. That was his work originally. So like he made the final design. It's kind of like the co-creators of Mega Man. Like Keiji Inafune didn't actually design Mega Man. He just gave him his like current look in the game, or his original look, while he was actually designed by the other person on the team, whose name I sadly have forgotten. So if anyone wants to refresh my memory on that, thank you. Mega Burb? No, there's no Mega Burb here. Watched like the first 10 minutes of the movie since it was available on 3DS, and it was one of the things I just downloaded in the days where you could just pirate anything directly off of Nintendo servers onto the system itself. Wow. Good idea. I'll wait until I get my hands on... so who are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Why don't you try figuring that out yourself for a change? It's Blue Badger's body section. What a waste. How so? Going through all the trouble to steal this costume only to throw it away in the end? A real thief wouldn't do such a thing. Nope, no way. I wouldn't think a real thief would steal something gaudy to begin with. Gaudy? So gaudy. What do we have here? Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver, too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon. Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there! Officer Wang Chung is here. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? Ah. Pendant, huh? Very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren? Hey, that's the name engraved on this. Lauren D. It's shaped like a pair of wings. Lauren D is engraved on the back. Ha! We have you now, Miss Kidnapper. No, you don't understand. Lolly, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. Lance. You're kidding. Miss Pops was one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over. Hey, guys, case closed. Get the car ready. And I mean the special one for this young lady. Have your grandma pull the car around.
Hold it!
Again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Props is also the case? Props. If the version of the movie on the 3DS eShop is actually presented in 3D or not. If it was, maybe we should still see it on there. Maybe. Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in this murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. You found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it. Thanks for the confession.
Objection!
Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you, so sure of yourself. You got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Palps. Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that's happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and a killer. Isn't that enough? She's threatening to cut her hair for some reason. It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that's the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. They gotta enjoy seeing you sulk away as a losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear all these evil deeds you commit. Let's hear all about the evil deeds you committed today. Miss Pops' confession. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that he could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back, after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. There, you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. You can at least respect that much. Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth? Was there some other Ace Attorney character in an animation where they're about to cut their hair? Look, they've done something similar before. Yeah, I think so. Somewhere. Yes, it is. If that's the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. I was barely paying attention to what she said. Looking at the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew we couldn't get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back, after all. And things going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me.
Hold it!
Well, how did you know the victim? I mean, there's Jake Marshall in the fifth game, or in the fifth case, shaves with his knife. That might be what you're thinking of. How well did you know the victim? I've spoken with them only a few times at Lance's house. A few times, that's it? Yes. If they only met a few times, I don't see how they could have trusted each other. But if you hardly ever talked, then how could he trust you not to steal his plan?
Not so fast!
That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning. Thinking of this character, the second case of Greatest Attorney, has animations holding scissors when they actually cut their hair with it. Oh, right, yeah. Which is why he chose someone who wasn't especially close to. Isn't that right, Sheena? Yes, however, Mr. Deacon also made a very poor choice. In the end, he was killed by the one he intended to betray himself. Huh, didn't see that one come. Bet he didn't see that one coming. We knew that we could get rich by holding...
Hold it!
Yeah. You knew? How did you know something like that? Oh no, what should I do? Okay, what's wrong with her now? Come on, isn't it obvious? You're making your scary face again, that's why. Why don't you try asking her in a nicer, more gentle way?
No, stop it, Lauren. You're always like this. You always fall for the stern-looking one. That's why you'll always be unhappy. Or maybe that's it. She's just been bewitched by your icy glare. Mind your business, Kay. Now then, Miss Pops, let's continue with her testimony. Oh, yes, of course.
Hold it!
Why did you believe that? Anyone who knows Mr. Amano would think the same. Ben Lance is that old man's greatest treasure. I suppose he would be a doting father to like Mr. Amano. Suppose he would be to a doting father like Mr. Amano. I always figured that was it too, and I always was envious of Lance for it. Oh, because your dad's. I got this pendant for my father, and I believe that as long as I have this, I'll find my father again someday. He'll welcome me into his arms, riding on the back of Pegasus. That pendant, she must truly believe it to be the wings of Pegasus.
Hold it!
Would you mind telling us a little bit about the plan itself? Well, first we captured Lance. Ooh, how did you do that? Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know. Bah, and here I thought you knew how to steal people away. Loved Kay's dumb smile and that sprite of her crossing her arms, yeah. But clearly you don't own an air fryer smile. I shudder to think what she would do with such knowledge. Sorry, I really don't know, but somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but...
Hold it!
Why do you think he did? I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing it from the very beginning. Miss Pops. Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning. Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yeah, let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. Huh? I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you. But why? We were total strangers! It's not uncommon for people to kill... Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you? Kill each other over money. Oh, it's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money. What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do, and I could show you with this piece of evidence. This proves that Mr. Deacon wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pops.
Take that!
Why are you showing this to me? So what about the pendant? This horse pendant, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. It's a pendant in the shape of a pair of wings. It has a rather nice aesthetic to it. Hey, nice to see that even you can appreciate its beauty. Things made of platinum silver tend to have a nice feeling about them, you know? I was only talking about its shape, Kay. Oh, is that what you're talking about? But you know, we're talking about wing shapes. I think the brooch on my scarf is way cooler. That's not made of platinum silver, is it? It's a handmade, okay? So I'm sorry it's not made of the expensive stuff. She made that by herself. It's incredibly well crafted. Lauren D is engraved into this pendant. I see they wrote her first name, but why just the D? Maybe it's the result of poor planning. I guess. Well, if I at least have to shorten my name, I could make it K Faraday. That way, even if you just send it out, it'd still sound like it'd still say my name, K Faraday. Suppose if I had to do the same, it would also abbreviate as M Edgeworth. Hold on, I think you should abbreviate it as M-E. Get it? Who would have thought that this little pendant could stir up such a strange conversation? Medgeworth. Tiles Medgeworth. I don't know.
Take that!
These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree? Hey, you're right, they're made the same color and they're even the same material. I believe these two pendants are actually one. Eh? Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. Really, Edgeworth? That's a lie. What? No, that can't be. So the two make a set. Huh. Just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You lack imagination, Agent Lang. Very well, I'll show you with evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant.
Take that!
Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Deveray, the name that is etched onto the horse pendant. What? An alias? Suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. Who are you? I'm M.E. No, I'm me. I am me, he says. Hey, Robo Bunny.
And it makes sense given that's what is written in Mr. Devereaux's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. Clearly the fact that it's Penitent Prison. No, his last name.
Take that!
Wait. His real name was Colin Devereaux, and that is the name etched on the horse pendant. What the? Do you even pay attention to what you say? You just told us about this alias a few seconds ago, and in the exact same words. Written in here is something other than the victim's real name that is very important. Oh, his wife and sole daughter.
Take that!
Mr. Devereaux had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. That's a lie. That person was not my father. He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot?
Not so fast!
And what is so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. I am going to take a break now, and then I'm going to come back. We're going to watch that video, wherever it is, and we'll be disappointed. So stick around. I'll be right back, and I'll just split this into another recording on YouTube. So people watch this on YouTube, come back another day when this uploads, because I don't know when this is going to be uploaded, because my YouTube feed is way ahead, or way behind where my streams are right now, because I'm only uploading one a day. Anyway, I'll be right back. Not right back, but I'll be back in a few minutes.